So in part A, you will be having 12 different questions. We have the 12 questions: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. In the concept, don't forget to write the diagram. Diagram will easily fetch you marks. Hello students, welcome to the Network Security Model Question Paper discussion session. This session is all about discussing a model paper. How does the marks are distributed? How many answers, how much answer you have to give? What kind of answer you can give? So that suggestions or things will be explained here. This is a model question paper. That means this is the one that has not given by the university. Okay, that just we have assumed these questions may arise. So we have tried to answer the questions based on the marks and how you can answer the questions. Okay, let's start with this session. As you know, all the B.C.A question papers will have 80 marks. Maximum marks you will get is 80. Maximum marks is 80. In this, you will be having two parts, part A and part B. As you know about it, part A has the 20 marks distribution, whereas the part B will have remaining 60 marks, isn't it? So in part A, you will be having 12 different questions. Among these 12 different questions, you have to write any 10 questions, isn't it? So you have to answer these 10 questions. What I want to suggest here is, don't try to skip the questions in the first part, because you will get 20 marks from the part A. That means this is a short answer question. You can finish it off quick and you can move on to the descriptive answer part. So don't try to skip this part. Try to attend all the 10 questions to the maximum. Try to attend all the 10 questions to the maximum. Try it out, because it can give you more marks or it can fetch you necessary marks with small answers, and are usually will be pretty simple to answer. So you need not to put too much effort to think and answer about this, because sometimes only a definition of a term, definition of a concept itself will fetch you 2 marks. So you can easily get 20 marks from this part A. So try to attend all the 10 questions in this part. Okay. Another advantage of this part is you can spend less time for 20 marks. How much you want to write for 20 marks if it is in descriptive, half the time is enough for attending the 10 questions of 2 marks. Okay. So just try to answer it, and please fill the questions. Write the answers neatly, because first impression is best one. So if you fill the page, first page, if it is neat and good, so it will be an impressive factor. Try to make it neat and answer precisely, so that it will be helpful for the next questions. You will feel confident, as well as the impression will be good if the answer is neat with this. And try to answer these questions in the first few pages, first pages of the answer script, because it will be good to know the first part in the first few pages only. Don't scatter the questions here and there all over the answer sheets. Some answers in first page, some more answers, 2 more questions, answer and questions in some other pages, 5th page, 6th page, and some more questions, 2 questions in last page. Don't do that. So that it will be a not nice practice to do that, and the evaluators may feel it uncomfortable to look for the questions and the answers. They may skip the answers if you insert or if you include that answers in the middle of the descriptive answers. So try to answer these questions in single part of the answer sheet. Be it continuous. Don't make it discrete. Don't scatter it all over the answer sheet. Answer it in the same section of the answer sheet. Okay. If it is better if you include that in first few pages, first 2 or 3 pages, or else you can include that in middle of the sheets, or maybe in the first, it is better to include that in the first sheets itself. Okay. So this is about the part A questions. Okay. So these are the speculated questions, not the actual one, because this is a new one. We don't have any question paper where you can say that only these questions will appear, definitely appear. Okay. So I've tried to answer the possible questions that may arise. So we have the 12 questions. Then we have part B. As we know, part B covers part B covers all the 4 units of the subject, isn't it? Where each subject will have questions covering 15 marks. Okay, 4 units, that is 4 into 15 equals 60. You can get 60 marks. Okay, so this is a question paper pattern you can have. Here we'll have 2 sets. You'll get 2 sets of questions where you have to answer one full set. Okay, either this one or this one. Either this one or this one. So you can choose which set you want to answer. But the thing is, don't mix up 2 sets. Answering this one and this one will give you a loss in the marks. Suppose if this is asked for 8 marks and even this is asked for 8 marks. Suppose if you have answered this one and got 7 marks and you have answered this and got 6 marks. If you had answered this one, you would have got 7 plus 6, 13 marks. Instead, what it will be done, since you have answered one question from both the sets, you will lose the marks which is lesser. In this case, you will lose this marks and will get only 7 marks. Okay, you will get only 7 marks. Other 6 will be lost because you have answered the question from another set. So don't make that mistake and mention the question numbers properly, because there will be no questions you are writing in your answer sheet, isn't it? You are directly starting with the answer. Okay. If you don't mention the question number properly, the evaluators may feel it confusing to evaluate which is the question for which this answer has been given. There will be no match between the question and the answer. Sometimes you may have written answer which is not relevant to the question. In such a case also, if you may have written diagram correctly but explanation may be wrong. In such a case, that diagram itself will score a mark. It will be considered for marks consideration. If you don't mention the question number, there may be chances that they may give marks to a wrong question. So, don't forget to mention the question number properly. Okay? So, that is a good practice you can follow in a examination. Never try to forget the question number. Always mention the question number before you start writing the answer. Okay. Then we have the second unit question. Again, we have the 2 sets. Third unit questions. Three options. You have 2 options. This is for 8 and 7, or maybe asked for 7, 5, 3, like that, or 5, 5, 5 may be asked like that. So this is a possibility. Okay. And we have the 4th unit questions in this. Okay. Let's start with how to answer this. We have the 12 questions. So I have tried to answer the 12 questions here. You can refer to the questions as well as the answer. Okay. Here we have this answer. Don't give descriptive answer for a 2 marks question. If it is same concept or same concept may be repeated in descriptive answer, descriptive question, only a definition may have asked in the 2 marks question. Thinking that you know about that concept, don't go on writing the descriptive answer for a 2 marks question. Once is, however you answer as 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, you are going to get only 2 marks. And the disadvantage is you will lose lot of time answering the descriptive points for a 2 marks question. A brief answer is enough for 2 marks questions that I have given here. Try to inculcate this practice for 2 marks questions. Don't go for descriptive answers in this part. All right. So this is how you can write the answers. So answer to the point. That is what expected in a 2 marks question. Don't wander here and there with the concepts. Answer precisely only to the question asked. Okay. So this is the 2 marks question. Now we shall come to the descriptive questions. So first one what we got is the security goals. You can answer like this. I have given this answer. You may reduce 1 or 2 sentences and continue with the next thing. Integrity, confidentiality, integrity and availability. If you know the example, you can add it, or else you can skip and give only the explanation. Okay. So one thing we need to remember is whenever answering, remember the distribution of the marks to that question. Okay. If it is asked for only 5 marks, no need to write too much about that. 200 words explanation, around 200 words is enough. Okay. 1 entire paragraph is enough for 8 marks. 7 marks is 1 less. So we can skip 1 or 2 sentences from the explanation. It won't make much difference. Okay. 8 and 7 marks don't make much difference. You can write whatever things or concepts you know for that question. Okay. So here we have the security goals. Then we have the security attacks on the goals. Here you have any 2 types. We have 4 types of attacks in confidentiality as well as integrity. No need to write everything. Usually they will ask 2 of 1, 3 of each. So they may ask like that. You can answer with the points. Here also you can reduce the explanation little bit. You can add 1 or 2 sentences. That is enough. If you know example, if it is written, it will be an advantageous one. Okay. So then we have the attacks threatening integrity like modification, masquerading. You can add the explanations for that. Okay. Next we have the attacks threatening availability. In availability we have only one threat, that is denial of the service. You can write explanation about the denial of the service. Okay. So next is security system development life cycle. What are the steps that are involved in a So security system development life cycle. So this is the explanation. This is the diagram you can write. If you have a diagram in the concept, don't forget to write the diagram. Diagram will easily fetch you marks. Okay. So neat diagram will easily fetch you marks. If there is any necessity of the diagram, please add it, because you don't need much time as writing, and you don't need to think too much about what I have to write in the diagram, because you know about the structure of the diagram, what has to be written in the diagram. Whenever there is a diagram necessity, add it and make it neat. Use the scale, pencil, accessories you need. Don't try to write it in pen. Diagram, it is not a good approach. Write it using the pencil and the scale. Or maybe if you are good in drawing, you can try it with pencil, but don't write the diagram in pen. Okay? It is a bad approach, or it is a bad practice in examination. Try to inculcate good practice, so you'll get an advantage. Okay? Try write the diagrams using the pencil, so that will be much better. Then you can give the explanation for each of the step. Logical design, physical design, implementation, maintenance, and change. So these are the stages of security system development life cycle. Next is the terminologies used in network security. You can add few of the points. Okay, if it is asked for 8 marks, you may add 4 or 5 terminologies you can mention. So risk, security blueprint, you can, for 7 marks or 8 marks, you can add 4 to 5 terminologies, or 5 to 6 you can add. If you add one more extra, there is no loss by in adding. So you can fetch good marks. Okay. So the next, you can have threat agent, vulnerability, include important terminologies. So it will be much more useful. Okay. Next is describe affine cipher with an example. Next unit, affine cipher. Even though if they ask and don't ask, in second unit, please try to give the examples if it is asked for 8 and 7 marks. Even if they don't ask to give the example, you try to give the example. It will fetch you the marks. Okay. So you can add the diagram. No need to write this much neat. Just try to remember the expressions. So second unit, I want to give a suggestion here. You can put a table where you can write the cipher method, encryption expression and decryption expression. Write the type of cipher, additive, write the expression C equals P plus K mod 26, P equals C minus K mod 26. So just write down the expressions and practice it, so that any cipher, if it is asked, you will be able to write it down easily by just knowing the expression of encryption and decryption. You can easily decode the answer. You can easily write the explanation and the diagram. No need to specify like these diagrams. You can just add a symbol for key, or you can just write K1, K2, the expressions, the cipher text, and mainly these text. Okay, no need to add diagrams like this, drawing the key and all those things, drawing the computers, no need of that. Just add important expressions. Okay, so encryption expression, decryption expression. Write these one and the keys. That is enough. Write the explanation and give an example. You can take any example. This is not the mandatory one. You can give any example of your choice. Next we have the function of DES with the use of P box and the S box. Okay, permutation and the substitution box. So here you can give the explanation like this. So array of S boxes, S box rule you can add, then S box how it works. That is about the DES. Next we have the Visionaire cipher and Hill cipher. You can give the explanation like this. So need not to include this table. I have just included it. So it's difficult to remember this table. This is enough. Then you have Hill cipher with the matrix. Give the explanation like this. Okay. So next question is describe AES. So what answer you can give? So you can give the explanation about advanced encryption standard. Write about the design criteria and the cost. So what are the how many rounds? Whenever DES or AES is asked, don't forget to mention the rounds. So how many rounds of encryption and decryption is done in these DES and AES ciphers? Please mention it. So design, write the design diagram whenever necessary. Whenever there is a need of diagram, please write it. Even though they haven't asked it, please write the diagram. Okay, don't forget to add the diagrams here. So this is the diagram you can write down. Okay, then you can have number of keys, how you can consider for the number of keys. Next you have the modes of operation in modern block ciphers. You have these many modes of operation. You can explain few points, 1 or 2 points about each of it. Know the difference between different modes. Like this, you can give the explanation. Okay, CTR mode like this. So next thing is to know about RC4. Next question is RC4 or can be asked A5 bar 1. So it is a symmetric cipher. You can give the key and state explanation. So how does the state will be written here? Okay, key schedule of the KSA that can be written here. Few explanation is enough for the question. Don't try to forget and don't forget to add the diagram. Okay. Next is the RSA crypto system. From third unit, there will be a sure question on one of these, either RSA crypto system or L-Gamal or elliptic curve crypto system. Okay. Learn all the 3 crypto systems. One of it will definitely appear in the examination. Okay. Here you can give the explanation. How does the RSA crypto system is going to generate the code key for the crypto system. Okay. So you can write the explanation and add the diagram for this RSA crypto system. You can write the procedure, how does encryption and decryption is done. Try to add this explanation. This is the most useful one for any crypto system you can use. Then you can have the explanations, expressions you can give for the concept. Okay. Then you have the elliptic curve crypto system. We have 3 conditions. One is for real numbers, one is for prime numbers, and one is for 2 to the power of n values. So I have added 2 points here. Write the expression, the quadratic equation expression you can give here. Okay. Then the explanation has been given in this. Then it is for prime numbers, explanation you can give here. You can give the algorithm for filling the points on the curve to get the set of key values. You can include this algorithm. Okay. Next is the SHA 512 bits message scheme. Okay. So you can add what is this algorithm, what are the explanations, write the diagram. So the network security, most of the concepts include one or the other diagram. So you just write a sketch. You may not be able to remember all the diagrams at a stretch, but try to remember it based on the concept. What is the concept that is included? Then how does the message is prepared in this? And structure of each round in SHA 512. So structure of each round of SHA 12 can be given here. Then each round a diagram can be written. If you miss one or the 2 points, that is not of much concern. Don't worry about it. Write down all of which you remember. Okay. The next question is attacks on digital signature. So you have key only attack, noun message attack, chosen message attack, existential forgery, and the selective forgery. Write the explanation about this for 7 or 8 marks. Okay. Next is describe the key distribution center. So you can give the diagram of key distribution or KDC like this. So it is pretty easy to write down. Creates a secret key. So how it creates the secret key, and write down the simple protocol using a KDC, used in a KDC. Okay. Write the explanation. So what are the steps involved will be written here. Okay. So next question is explain the operation in Kerberos. Okay. Kerberos is again a sure short question. One or the other set, something or some concept may be asked from the Kerberos. Okay. So just write down the diagrams, steps, what it is going to do, and few explanation for that. Includes the servers in the Kerberos. So how does it is going to do in 6 steps, that will write the diagram and operation. The diagram is representing the operation in the Kerberos. Okay. So this is about something you can get to know about the question paper. As I said, it is not the actual question paper. It is the speculated questions that may come or may not. Okay. So that may come or may not. And if comes, how you can give the answer. Okay. About the problems. So problem may be asked in first unit, second unit, or may not ask. It is not mandatory and we don't know whether it will appear or not. So problems get in study. So if does not comes, no need to worry. If comes, same question may not be asked. Format, the example may be changed. The text, plain text may be changed. So you just remember the expressions to perform the encryption and the decryption and try to implement that in the problem. All right. So this is about the question model, question paper. Okay. Be calm, write it neatly, and all the best for everyone. Thank you.